How much time were you streaming versus how much money were you making from that?
I was online a lot and I would get 50 to 60,000 for the month.
Damn.
Wow.
My mum is like my biggest supporter ever. I called her the next morning and I was like, oh my God, guess what I did? And she said, sign me up. So she actually did it as well for a little while.
Wow.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you can I guess get us up to speed on what you were kind of doing before OnlyFans and how you ended up kind of getting into everything you're doing.
Okay, so I started on My Free Cams in 2015, which is like a live streaming site. I actually started with absolutely zero business idea of anything. And yeah, the very first night I logged on, my account was approved and I was in bed and I was like, oh, my account was approved. So I literally logged on from my bed in my pajamas with my like inbuilt webcam and everything. They obviously loved me for that because yeah, I made like $400 my first night or something.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just completely addicted from them. Like I loved it. I loved like the performance of it. I loved making money. Like, I don't know, just all of it was so much fun to me. And yeah, so it kind of accidentally turned into a job from there. Live streaming was my main thing until 2020, where I had just like a beautiful, I don't know, all the timelines of the world lined up nicely for me because I also had a child in 2020.
Oh, nice.
And then COVID, and then OnlyFans like took off at like literally the perfect moment for me because obviously with like a new child, I did not have the time to be streaming like 10-hour days like I was before. And instead OnlyFans came along and I was in this amazing position where I already had 5 years worth of content to post.
Wow.
Everything kind of happened by accident. Like I had such a good like database of content and I labeled everything so well. It's like I knew OnlyFans was coming or something.
Awesome. So I guess I'm curious, when OnlyFans sort of took off, did you get all your fans from MFC? Like, did this traffic come from the campsites, or were you doing TikTok at that time, or like what was the main thing?
Yeah, no, definitely pretty much all of my people were from My Free Cams, but also Suicide Girls because they're also in the, in that realm. They're all friends with each other. My Free Cams, Suicide Girls, and OnlyFans. So they all like allow cross promotion. So on Suicide Girls, I can post my OnlyFans link, etc. And then I didn't start TikTok until like late 2021. And then yeah, I got a lot of people from there. In the good old TikTok days.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've since lost all of those accounts, unfortunately. And now my TikToks are a little sad, but I do still post on there.
Damn, that's a trip. So from the time that you kind of started, how do you feel like the industry has changed? I mean, you said you were kind of like streaming how long? Like 10 hours a day, and that would earn a few $100s a day, or like how much time were you streaming versus how much money were you making from that when you first got started versus how things progressed and so on?
On MFC, I was ranking like top 100 each month, which is about $10,000 a month, I think.
Wow.
And I was doing pretty heavy hours, like at least 5 to 10 hours. No, probably like 5 hours a day in like my normal months, but on My Free Cams, it's like common for people to do like rank months where you go like really hard in 1 month. So for me, that was December. And in December, I would stream like pretty much all of my waking hours and I would get top 20, which is like 50 to 60,000 for the month.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess those are the kind of numbers that I was making prior to the world of OnlyFans. But yeah, it was pretty like heavy in terms of like work. Like I was online a lot. I would say I had pretty much no life and no friends, but that suited me fine because like it was my life and it was my friends. And I've maybe you saw the YouTube video where I said about how it like literally saved my life because I was, I don't know, it's just like a lonely, awkward 20-year-old, and I just like found my weirdo people on the internet and I loved it. So,
And what did you do for work before you started this? Like you said, you started just camming kind of for fun, like for yourself.
yeah,
What were you doing like for money before that?
I was doing civil engineering, an art degree,
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
which I have since finished. I was doing that and also working part-time at H&M. So I mean, like, it's not like I quit an amazing career or anything. I just quit my, shitty part-time job.
But totally like a world of difference. Holy moly.
Yeah, like I always found it so funny because like I'd go to H&M and I'd work like a shift like 5 till 10. I think I was making like 20 something dollars an hour. It's good pay in Australia. And so what, I make like $100 and I'd get home and I'd be so tired, but I'd get on cam and I'd make, 5 times that in just a couple of hours by just like having fun. I don't know. It was just such a no-brainer to quit.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then, yeah, I finished my degree because everybody told me I needed a backup plan, but I clearly don't need a backup plan because I've been doing great in this industry for almost 10 years.
So how did your kind of like close friends and family respond when they started learning that you were moving away from a real job and doing this stuff instead? Did they respond well to it, or was it a big clash like it is for some people?
I mean, mixed around. I didn't really have any friends, so don't know. I know like some people from school will be like gossiping about me for it, but like I didn't give a shit because I was having a great time. A few times, like, because on MSC, like, you have a username or whatever. Sometimes people would come into my room on like a free account and their username would be like my real name or like where I lived or something. So like people were obviously noticing and like trying to, I don't know, taunt me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't care less. I just blocked them and whatever. I was having a great time. And then my mom is like my biggest supporter ever. And
Awesome.
after that first night that I spoke about, I called her the next morning and I was like, oh my God, guess what I did? Because I thought it was going to be like a once-off. I thought I just had a fun time. I made $400. I was done. But I was like, oh my God, I did this thing. And she said, sign me up. So she actually did it as well for a little while.
Wow. That's adorable.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you watched the podcast episode with Mia, because she learned about OnlyFans because her daughter was a dancer, and then her daughter was doing OnlyFans, and then Mia was doing her tax returns and saw how much money she was making. She was like, damn.
Yeah,
and then so Mia started doing it from that. So that was pretty cool. But so when OnlyFans kind of took off for you, did that eventually start out earning your cam earnings?
Well, it did pretty quickly because I took a lot of time off of camming when I first had my kid. And I thought that I would like get back into camming in the same capacity that I had been in the past. But I guess I never needed to because now OnlyFans is my bigger income stream. But I do still cam because I know like sometimes I do a poll on my OnlyFans and I say like, oh, where did you find me? And, they'll say TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And you can like click on it to see which people. And on my account, when someone's tipped me over like $500, I put a little emoji next to their name. And when I like click on the pictures, the one where they said they came from my free cams, like from my live streaming site, they all have the little emoji. Like all the big tippers come from there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I keep it up because like that's where the good quality, like long-term, like loyal fans, like they'll follow me on whatever platform I end up going on.
That's awesome.
And also, yeah, because I love it. I love live streaming.
So do you also go live on OnlyFans too, or do you just kind of go live on MFC and then do, just content sales on OnlyFans?
Yeah, I don't go live on OnlyFans. I have tried to, but I never get more than like even when I had I don't know, like 1,000 plus fans. I don't know why I can't, because I'm obviously good at live streaming, but for some reason I can't make live streams on OnlyFans work. I think it's a different crowd or something.
Well, it makes more sense to me to do it on MFC anyway, because that's, pushing traffic to your OnlyFans. So you're kind of earning money from that while pushing traffic to OnlyFans at the same time. So to me, that makes more sense
Yeah.
anyway. But you mentioned, I think you mentioned you're 0.8% on OnlyFans. Is that accurate?
Yeah, somewhere like maybe point 0.7 now, but yeah, somewhere around there.
Awesome.
Nice.
And so is Cam still your primary traffic? I saw you have a pretty big like Twitter account too.
Yeah,
Where's the main source of traffic now?
I think in terms of like my bigger tippers, it's from my free cams. And then yeah, secondary might be Instagram at the moment. It's kind of hard to say because of I'm like implementing a lot of your things where I'm using like repurpose and whatever, and my content is just everywhere. I don't know what is doing what anymore. Like it's all doing something.
Right.
But for the live streaming people, it's more for me. It's more about like quality than quantity. Like I wouldn't say that I'm bringing in like big numbers when I stream. It's more about like good quality fans. Does that make sense? Like it's not like, oh my god, I
Yeah,
got like
100%.
100 new fans when I streamed. It's more like, oh, I got one guy, but like he's obsessed with me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one quality fan is worth more, more than hundreds of freeloaders that just waste
Yeah.
your time for the most part. So yeah, definitely that makes perfect sense. Um, as far as I could tell, it seemed like, the main things that you were monetizing were my free cams, mini vids, Fansly, OnlyFans. Were those the main ones, or did you have some other stuff too?
That sounds about right. Yeah. OnlyFans, MFC, and ManyVids are like my big three. The rest is all kind of just lovely passive income. But yeah, those are the major ones. I do also have loyal fans, clips for sale, I want clips, Pornhub. I think that's all of them.
Gotcha. And then, so are you able to break down, like, from an earnings point of view, like how much is each platform earning for you? And I guess how much time are you sort of spending on each one?
Yeah, so OnlyFans, 70% of my income for about 20 hours a month is what I'm saying. But like it's more than that. I don't know. That's like active admin time, I guess.
Gotcha.
The numbers are a little funny,
Yeah, that
but
makes
yeah,
sense.
OnlyFans is 70%. So yeah, big amount of my income. And then about 10% is ManyVids.
Okay. And that's just like passive sales, right? You just put your stuff on there and
Yeah.
people go there, buy it. It's just like a little video library kind of
Yeah.
deal.
And for the number on that, I have 0 hours because I literally do nothing. I have an assistant that just copy pastes my videos from my free cams. And I think I do 3 videos a week. And yeah, so that's my next biggest one. Yeah, and then MFC is actually only like 4% of my income.
Interesting.
But I only stream like 1 or 2 times a week for like a couple of hours. So yeah, I make like a good hourly amount on there, but it's not very significant for my total income because I just don't put in the hours.
Yeah, it's not really like passive. You can only earn when you're actively putting in
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm maintaining the 1 to 2 a week because I really do think it's important to, maintain those relationships and like, I don't know, keep my face there. But yeah, at the moment, my priority is like with my family. So I don't want to be spending like 8-hour days on stream when I could be with my kids at the park,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, those are kind of my numbers. I don't know if I articulated that very well, but
No, that's perfect.
okay.
Because it brings up another question in terms of, because I've done, us personally, we haven't done the cam thing or anything like that, but a lot of, there's creators in the group that do it. And I work with some others and kind of, just look at the data and stats from what people are doing in the cam world. And so I'm curious your thoughts. Have you tried any of the other, cam sites in terms of driving traffic, like Chatterbait, Strip Chat, those kinds of alternatives? What are your thoughts on kind of like um, which campsite is best for driving traffic to OnlyFans, do you think?
Well, my free cams, because you're allowed to put it in your topic on your screen, you're allowed to talk about it. Like, it makes it really easy. But I do think it depends on your personality. Like, for my free cams is more geared towards like girlfriend experience. So it's not just about like, I don't know, in comparison to like Streammate, where it's more about privates. Like, they want you to do what they want you to do right now. Like, they don't even really care who you are. Just like, do this act for me and like see you later. So that, that kind of live streaming does suit other people. And I've done that with another girl, Nova Hawthorne. I've streamed with her a few times on Streammate. And it's so much fun because, yeah, they just like come to you, you like do the thing. I don't know. It's so fun. But yeah, you're not allowed to talk about OnlyFans. You're not even allowed to mention social media or anything. So you're really relying on people like, look at my username, please. Like, type it into your browser. You're not even allowed to say that. Like, you're just hoping they look you up. So in that case, it's not great for getting people to OnlyFans. I've also streamed on Chatterbait, but again, it's a different kind of energy. It's a lot more like, I mean, that's obviously all sexual, but I feel like it's a different energy. Like, people on MFC want to like talk to you and like get to know you. They want like the girlfriend experience. Whereas, yeah, Chatterbait, they're like, what's the biggest thing you can put in your ass, please?
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to mention OnlyFans on Chatterbait. I'm not sure about that.
From what I've heard, from a lot of the creators that come, that come and subscribe to Telegram and join the group and stuff, from what I've heard, Chatterbait is like the number one traffic driver
Yeah.
in terms of, I don't know about making money from the site itself, but in terms of like using it as a promotional platform, it seems like most people say Chatterbait is the
Yeah.
best, and then second on the list was Strip Chat, and then MFC was on the list, but it was like kind of a little bit further down. So that's why I was curious what your thoughts were, because I know that's like your number one cam.
Yeah, well, it's probably different for somebody entering today. Like I said, I've been doing it since 2015, so I have a lot of people on there that are like, "Oh, I remember you." Like, yeah, so it's probably very different for someone's like starting fresh. I would say, yeah, maybe I would start on Chatterbait, starting fresh, because I know they do have big numbers, or Streammate, because they have a lot of traffic too. But yeah, Streammate, if you're interested in making money on a streaming site and not necessarily getting it to OnlyFans.
And then, so as far as OnlyFans is concerned, what is kind of like your biggest, I guess, monetization strategy on there? Is it mainly like selling customs, or what's kind of like the main thing you're doing on the back end of OnlyFans to monetize?
I think my major thing is just my massive collection of videos. I have like nearly 1,000 videos now, and like almost every fetish you can think of.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty much that. But I've kind of switched. I don't really send like mass messages anymore, and I more make it like I guess like a personalized experience.
Well, yeah, that's exactly kind of, what we talk about in the course too, is like, not necessarily just sending mass DMs with low ticket offers, but actually engaging each individual person. You chat with them. They, like you said, it's a story driven experience. You're spending one-on-one personal time with an individual, and that of course has to be more expensive, because you're not just clicking a button and mass spamming everybody. You're actually investing your own time into each individual. So it makes perfect sense that it should be a little bit more expensive if somebody's going that route. So what do you think?
You're spending the time with them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, it's an individual story driven experience, which they're not necessarily paying for the content itself. They're paying for the entire experience. So yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Um, how have you? Because like obviously, if you go on Reddit, like OnlyFans advice or just different places, the never-ending debate is like free page versus paid page. So, have you experimented with both, or like what is your thoughts on free versus paid?
I think there is value in having both. I guess if I was saying starting fresh, maybe start with a free page, and then like once you've built that up a bit, you could release your new paid page or something. But a couple of months ago, I would have said don't even worry about a free page, but now I've kind of changed my mind on that again. So the industry is just always changing. You just got to kind of do what works for you. I think free pages are good at the moment. Mine is doing great.
For you, which one is your free page outperforming your paid page?
No, okay. So when I say it's doing great, I mean it's doing a great job of funneling into my paid.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And I think it's worthwhile having because social media is so fleeting. Like even when you follow all the rules, you said before that I have a pretty big Twitter account, and that's because it's the only account that I've had for 9 years. Every other social media I've ever had, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, Snapchat, everything I've lost.
Damn.
But Twitter I have had the whole time. So like, that's what it looks like when you when you get to keep your account. You actually do hit 100,000. But yeah, so I think there's value in having like a free page because I'm not going to get banned. Well, I hope I'm not going to get banned on OnlyFans, but
So do you send people like from Twitter to your free page, or do you send them straight to your paid? Or do they go to the free and then you send them to your paid? I think that's how most people do it.
Yeah, I think I don't think my free page is actually on my like link page anymore. Because I did stop using my free page for a while, but I've only recently started using it again. And mostly for internal promotion. I started doing like the story drops. And they're actually working quite well. But yeah, I don't have the greatest like strategy going on with my free page, but yeah, I have recently started doing story drops, and I do have like 40,000 people on there, like from wherever I've got them from in the past.
Yeah, I think when I was checking out your stuff, I don't think you had it on your beacons pages. I think it was, or yeah, I think it was just linked in one precarious place on one of your beacons pages somewhere. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah, I don't think you had it really in most of your placements.
Yeah,
But I think you're right. Like, I think the main, I guess it kind of depends on the strategy, because I think like if somebody's main strategy is kind of like a complete hands off, like they don't want to chat to anybody or anything like that, and they just want to like send mass DMs and make money that way, or try to make money that way, then in that case, a free page could potentially make sense if you're not really talking to anyone. But if you're, for most
yeah,
people, chatting is where they're going to earn the most money. And if you're trying to earn from chatting, then to me, it makes sense to focus on a paid page because, like you said, when you're experimenting with free trials, if you got a bunch of free guys in there, then you're just going to spend the large majority of your time talking to, people that have no intent to spend any money at all. So yeah, I think it could make sense both ways, kind of just depending on what strategy you're using. But I think for most people, if they're wanting to make the most money with chatting, then probably the paid page is the way to go from what I've seen. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I mean, yeah, like I said before, like maybe having a free page as well to start until like I don't know, because you said to start, and I'm like, oh, you don't really want to open a paid page with nothing on it, but yeah, no, I think paid page is the way to go.
You mentioned that like basically all your social media accounts have been banned or shadow banned or penalized at one point or another besides Twitter. You've been working on that for, what'd you say, 9 years, you said?
Yeah, I pretty much made the Twitter as soon as I started on MSC because they all said like on my first stream, they're like, oh, you need to make a Twitter. And yeah, so I've had that since 2015.
And then do you have like a specific strategy that you use on Twitter? Like, are you doing all these, retweet groups and just all these kind of little things that people do? Or are you just posting authentic content, or what is your strategy there?
For Twitter, I definitely think authentic stuff is the way to go. I've definitely tried retweet groups. I've tried individually pick and choosing my retweet share for shares with individual girls that match my aesthetic, whatever. I've tried buying promotion. And for Twitter, it's just like posting good stuff is what gets people. I just don't bother with any of the retweet stuff anymore. And just I don't know, being authentic, sometimes you see people posting their OnlyFans link underneath other girls' posts or whatever. I don't mean that. I mean engaging with other people in a way that is authentic. I don't know, not logging on and being I need to comment on 10 posts. Just genuinely interacting on the app.
Adding value to the conversation rather than just spamming your OnlyFans link at everybody you possibly can.
Because I guess that's something we haven't spoken about, is that I think one of my biggest bringers of traffic would be doing genuine collaborations with other girls. It's probably a lot. It's probably up there in the answers of when I say where did you find me? They'll say through Charlie Webb, through Nova Hawthorne, through girls that I've live streamed with or made videos with. If I do a stream with a girl and then a week later commenting under her pictures, I'm in people's minds as oh, they stream together, oh, they're actually friends, that's so cute, I'm gonna subscribe to both of them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Interesting. So when you collaborate with other creators, are you mainly sharing each other's content on Twitter or on OnlyFans or on everywhere, or where's kind of the main place that you're kind of cross promoting each other?
Yeah, everywhere. Probably Instagram is the major one, is a good one for posting suitable for work content with other girls. And on Twitter, I don't know, because the MFC girls, there's a lot of events and things at AVN in Vegas, and they have these social party things. So a lot of the times the girls will will take pictures together at the events and then post it and retweet, authentic retweets where all the fans, and they're similar kind of fans because they're from MFC, and yeah,
that's awesome. That was actually one of the YouTube videos I was watching on your channel. You were doing some kind of vlog. You were at AVN. So I thought that was cool. And then I also saw you had I don't remember how I came across it. I think maybe I saw it on your Twitter or something like that, where you were doing these time lapse art pieces. You had some kind of Instagram account where you're doing time lapse art. I thought those were really cool, and those were actually getting pretty decent views on some of them too. Have you noticed that you got any fans from those kind of videos?
Well, that's something I do on MFC, is I do painting streams. And that's one of those things where in the numbers, it's why do I ever do that? Because I never make any money when I do the painting streams. The opposite of that is I'm on my bed and I'm doing all the sexy things. And then, I do these painting streams, and the numbers aren't there, but it's constantly what people talk about. When I say oh, where did you first find me? Or I say what do you like about me? They're oh, I love your painting shows. It's always the thing they bring up. So it's kind of what you talk about, with branding and stuff. I'm not just the porn girl. I also paint, and I talk shit, and it's all that personality stuff that really, shines through in the end. And then, I just started posting them on Instagram, I guess to build on that, because I do often hear people say that that's where they found me or whatever. And then I'm oh, that doesn't really reflect in my social media very well. Because I as well as that, I often get people that say oh, wow, I didn't know that you paint. And I'm I paint every week on cam. What do you mean? So I've started, using some of those tools like Opus and repurpose them, whatever, to clip things and post them on Pornhub. And because I'm usually naked when I'm painting, so it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to post them on Instagram. You see it get like progressively closer and closer to the painting because I get more and more naked. It's not like I don't sell my paintings or anything. Like, I'm not directly profiting off of the painting streams in any way, but my personality shining through is like the winner there.
Right. Yeah, I think it's great. And okay, cool. So you were kind of going through some of the course. Did you go through the whole course? I'm kind of like right in the middle of a update, so there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm in the process of adding.
By the way, if you're feeling stuck with your progress on OnlyFans, there is no better place to be than the OnlyFans Level Up community. The Level Up community is a private group on Telegram where you can network with all kinds of amazing creators, many of which have been featured on this podcast. Over the years, I've documented with step-by-step video modules the best systems, the best tools, the best strategies used by the highest earning creators. Regardless of your skill level, it's a great place to meet other creators and see all of the best secrets that you can't find on Reddit or YouTube. The link for that will be down in the description below, but for now, back to the podcast.
One of the biggest things that I'm always kind of touching on, whether it be the podcast or YouTube or the course or everything, is like the whole personal brand component, which when I started looking at your stuff, it seemed like you're doing a pretty good job of that stuff already. Like, I was surprised because, your YouTube goes back 7 years and your Twitter goes back a long time. And then like a lot of the stuff that I talk about, whether it be on YouTube or the course or whatever, I'm like, damn, she is actually like doing most of the stuff that I preach for years already. So how did you sort of learn all of that stuff? Or just kind of figure that whole thing out?
Well, yeah, that is extremely validating to hear. Thank you. I can't even really remember why I started my YouTube channel. I think I just did it for fun. So like, it was never a strategy, or like, I never thought like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to get more people. The things like Twitter and YouTube were like rewards for the people that I was meeting on MFC, because I think prior to 2020, I did almost zero like promotion of myself. I was just relying on my free cams traffic and like working with other girls. I got that kind of traffic, but I had an Instagram account, but again, it was more like a reward for people that already followed me. Like, I was never posting thinking like, oh, this is going to bring people to my stream. I've done like, an Instagram poll or whatever, like the question box, and I don't know, the words that I get back are just like bright, crazy, colorful chaos. Like, so I think that might just be my branding, is that I am, I don't know, everything.
Well, yeah, I think it's just like one of those things where if somebody sees, I always refer to it as like top of funnel, bottom of funnel. And your top of funnel is like the traffic generation content, which is like, maybe some of the thirst trap type of content that just people don't really care about you, but they're interested, they're turned on by what they see, whatever. And then your bottom of funnel content is more of the branding content, where for the people that are generally going to hang around the longest, spend the most money and all this kind of stuff, that's kind of your bottom of funnel content, where they're not just interested in looking at ass, but they're interested in like, following your life's journey and, wanting to support you and stuff like that. So I think, while the top of funnel content can, drive in a lot of surface level traffic and get, a lot of $3 conversions, it's the bottom of funnel content that's going to get those, long-term fans and big spenders and people that legitimately care about, following you and everything that you're actually doing in your life and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, from that point of view, you're doing a great job, because if people find you and then they look for deeper content, they can find it. Whereas most people, they only have the surface level content. Yeah. They don't have anything deeper than that. So I think in that regard, it's great.
That is really good.
And then, so kind of, one of the other things that always comes up on the podcast is, for creators that come into the industry and they start getting a lot of hate from the red pill and the conservatives and stuff like that. So what's your experience been with dealing with, red pill conservatives, the Christian nationalists, and that whole crowd.
I have seen that topic come up a lot in the podcast, and I get a lot of hate comments for sure. I don't know. Doesn't affect me.
Just don't pay any attention to it.
Like, I'm just living my own little life, and so I don't have advice, unfortunately, for that stuff, because I think it does just come naturally to me to not give a fuck.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people, it is really crippling for them, to get so much hate in the comment section.
I know, and I can see that. I think, yeah, that's probably the only way that it does affect me. Sometimes I see, especially when I was pregnant and posting on social media, I'd get a lot of like, your kid's gonna see this one day, like, you're a terrible fucking mother.
That's their favorite go-to.
My son, I have one son and he's an adult, but people, because I don't look like I'm 60, they assume that my child is like 3 or something. And so they're like, you should be taking care of your child instead of spending your time like this. And I'm like,
or like,
my son's an adult, but like for those women who do have young children, like they bust their asses to make a great life for their kids and be able to spend time with them. Like they work 2 hours and make enough money to make their entire existence really comfortable and be really present for their children. And so like, it's an easy trade in my head. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that comment a lot. Like, where are your kids? Like, why aren't you with them? Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny because even in some of my TikTok videos, I know that my child is like literally in their bassinet, like 2 meters away from me in that particular video where they're like, where's your child? Like, well, he was with me and I was just doing some dumb TikTok dances. Like, it's pretty harmless, everyone.
Yeah.
It is wild, like how triggered a lot of these guys get. Like, they're always talking about how, everybody's so soft and everybody gets so offended by everything. But goddamn, these guys get so offended by seeing a girl dance on TikTok. It's fucking hilarious, how sensitive they are about it. So yeah, I think this was awesome. I'll have I'll put your YouTube link in the description. What are kind of the best safe for work social medias that people can check you out on if they want to?
Probably Instagram. heidiv.net is the major one.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have those linked down in the description below. And then last question, what is your biggest dream?
My biggest dream is realized. I am 100% living it. I am, just so grateful for this life that I have. Like I said earlier, I started as a 20-something lonely girl, and at that time, Cam was what I needed. And it kept me company, and it made me money, and it built my confidence and all of that. And then I met my husband, and now I have 2 children, and Cam and Onlyfans are still like there for me in the way that I need them in my life now. And my husband is like unemployed, like he just is a stay-at-home dad, and like I'm pretty much a stay-at-home mom. We travel, like, I don't know, I couldn't ask for anything more. So like, my dream is, I guess, for this to just keep on keeping on, which I don't have any doubts about, because that's something that people say to me, like, what are you going to do when this ends? And I'm like, I'm good. I feel stable. I feel ebbs and flows, but
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, my dream is just this, living it.